Thank you, Bhaskar Bhai and Nigam Bhai. It's a privilege for me to be here on the platform of NAC. I had been associated with NAC, and in its very first meeting at Ahmedabad, I was there at Ahmedabad along with my president then, Mr. Ganesh Purohit, senior advocate from Jabalpur. The work done by Akshat Bhai and Nigam Bhai is cannot be stated in words. It is a tremendous work, continuously traveling along with the team, Bhaskar Bhai, Bharat Swami, and all, and joining all the advocates practicing on the tech side throughout India. It's a momentous amendments in the GST, particularly for the GSTP amendments, and the addition and the exams and the practice rights. This was all because of the efforts and working of this NSE. I congratulate this NSE, and it is really a tremendous one. Bhaskar Bhai is a great friend of mine. But apart from it, all of you are my friends. It is a fraternity. It is not a tech fraternity. It is a family, and we are all part of a family. Some are elders, and some are juniors, and some are fellow. So we all enjoy the benefits and the humor and all working in it. Today is a special day for me because I had been called upon by Nigam Bhai and Bhaskar Bhai to deliberate on the e-invoice in the GST, which is about to come. I would not take much time because I would start on the topic right away. And I would say that the continuation of the webinars by all professional organizations is a good tool to learn, and it will change the concept of the tax professionals and other professionals. We can at our leisure time now learn sitting on our desk, sitting on in our office, even in our rooms, even in our garden, through a mobile or a laptop or a desktop. And that is the beauty of this technology. We can be of any age, but we have to adhere, we have to learn the technology and be a master of it. Nowadays, all the working, everything would be on a digital platform, and therefore this digital platform is required by all. I would say that we are fortunate that because of this lockdown, we are all on Zoom now and attending this webinar. Now, coming to the topic, e-invoicing. I would be starting sharing the PPT. And what is e-invoicing? The question which comes in our mind is whether e-invoicing is there and does it replace invoicing? So friends, the first concept or the misconception which we have in our mind is that there is no major difference between an invoice or an e-invoicing. Earlier or at present, we are doing invoicing, and invoicing is done even by our computer, but that cannot be called e-invoicing as per the GST norms. Though we can understand that it is a e-invoicing as far as practical mode is concerned. We are generating invoice through computer. Can it be said that it is a e-invoice? No. The answer is no. The e-invoice is a invoice which would be generated through a invoice registration portal, which are notified by the government of India under the GST in the GSTN portals, and 10 portals have been notified for it. So we have to understand that invoicing and e-invoicing are almost similar, except that for the certain category of dealers, online invoicing has been made a mandatory. So first misconception, I would start with my PPT, but some misconceptions has to be clarified. And the first misconceptions are, does it replace invoice? No, it does not replace invoice. It is merely a new method of generating an invoice, but the contents and the working of invoice remains the same. You have to refer to section 31 to 34 of the CGST Act for all the requirements of the invoice, and you have to refer to rule 46 and 46 to 55 for all the requirements under the CGST rules. So these are the sections and the rules which are relevant even for an invoice and even for e-invoice. So a pointed question was asked to me, sir, e-invoice means that we have to generate an invoice from the portal directly. Again, the answer is no. The e-invoice does not or cannot be generated directly from a portal. E-invoice has to be generated through your system and then uploaded, and then it would be verified or validated from the invoice registration portal. So the working has to be done on your system at your end and not directly on the portal. With this background, I start with the basics because we have a limitation of time as circulated in the message, and I would start with the basics of implementation of the e-invoice. So what is e-invoice? So in e-invoice is to be implemented by the government in a phased manner. It was option was given from 1st April for dealers having a turnover of more than 500 crores that they would start the option for the e-invoice, and thereafter from 1st April it was allowed to dealers having a turnover of 100 to 500 crores. But now it was to be there with the 1st June 2020, but now it has been deferred because of the pandemic situation, and this pandemic has created a situation where every implementation has been deferred. Now the government has come out with a notification that e-invoicing would come with effect from 1st October 2020. Now friends, you have to understand why this government is having problems with all these GSTN or the network or the working issue. We are already facing so much problems with the filing of returns. Every time there is extension of time, every time we are having a new problem. On the last 2 days or 3 days, the server is not working, or there is always an error. It goes into maintenance. And now the government is visualizing that we move on to the e-invoice. Is it practical? Is it possible? Suppose if the server does not work on a given day, or there is no network, or there is no internet. We are seeing that sometimes the network goes, there is a curfew, the internet is stopped, there is a riot, the internet is stopped. And in those cases, what would happen? Does a trader or an industrialist having a certain turnover who has a requirement to generate e-invoice would be required to stop his business? We still say that the GSTN is not working properly, and every time on every cutoff date, every return filing date, everywhere we are having problems. The problems are so vast and the government is not able to rectify it, that even they had staggered the filing of the returns. Now if the return filing is staggered, how if on a last day of the month every industry wants to generate the e-way bill, wants to generate the e-invoice, will the server not collapse and will it not result in a loss? We have to understand that, and we have to see that e-invoicing, if not done properly, the saving clause by the government or the defense by the government is that we are notifying 10 portals. We would be separating the 10 portals separately with the unique ID numbers automatically generated by the computer on a random basis, and therefore there would not be any kiosk. Everything is okay, but if there is no internet, how can it be done? That is a point to ponder. And before we move on to the implementation of e-invoice, and if it is made mandatory from 1st October 2020, because that date even now does not, I do not believe that it will be implemented from 1st October 2020. Even the new returns had been said that it would be implemented from 1st October 2020, but there is a big doubt in all our minds, and I think the e-invoicing and everything would go on for the 1st April 2021, and that is a reasonable date in my view also. But whatever it is, let us see, let us examine what are the conditions and the benefits of the e-invoice as on date. So as on date, the e-invoice for dealers having a turnover of over 100 crores in the preceding year would be required to generate e-invoice from 1st October 2020, and the date of implementation of invoice with quick response code, that is QR code. Quick response code will also be done from 1st October 2020. Now, coming to the second slide, what are the relevant provisions? Do major changes have been made in the provisions, or the same provisions go? No, my friends, the almost the same provisions go, but either some proviso has been added or some minor changes had been done, because all the provisions relating to a normal invoice, normal credit note, normal debit note, everything would be applicable on the e-invoice also. Only the enabling provisions has been made, and therefore I am giving you, I had already stated that Section 31 to 34 are the relevant provisions under the CGST Act for the invoices, and Rule 46 to 55 are the relevant rules for the invoices, debit note, and credit note. So minor changes had been made in Rule 46, 5th and 6th proviso had been added, and similarly in Rule 48, minor changes had been made, and they had included a form GST INV01, wherein the details and what would be the invoice reference number and how it would be generated would have been notified. Now again, coming to the basic thing, what is e-invoice? It is a digital invoice. Yes, we know it is a digital invoice, but even a invoice generated through our computer is called a digital invoice. So what is the difference between a invoice generated through our computer and a invoice generated through a portal? A difference is that in an invoice generated through a computer, your computer does not go into the system as of that time, but a e-invoice for a entity which are having a turnover of more than 100 crores would be required to be generated through an invoice registration portal. And when it is required to be generated through an invoice registration portal, it would go into the system on the real-time basis, and that real-time basis would be the basis on which everybody can see, whosoever is authorized to see, that invoice is generated on the portal. Now it is linked to your purchases, linked to your sale, linked to your buyer, linked to your e-way bill, linked to your returns. So everywhere the similar entry would be automatically done by the portals. That is the digital invoice. Now, second question which comes, is the digital invoice to be generated directly on the portal, or it has to be generated through your systems? My dear friends, again I say, again I reiterate that digital invoice or e-invoice is to be generated through your system, and it has to be uploaded through a JSON file in the e-portal, and only after the authentication by the portal it would be considered as an e-invoice. So are all invoices required to be generated? No, it is for the B2B invoices, and it is to be on a designated portal. It will be called Invoice Registration Portal, IRP. You have to remember the abbreviated words. IRP. IRP means Invoice Registration Portal. Invoice Registration Portal is very important. The government has already by a notification notified 10 portals. Now 10 portals, yes, 10 portals, because government also know that one single portal will not work, and they are trying to buy insurance and stagger the dealers into separate portals, and think it is only for dealers having turnover of more than 100 crores. Suppose the turnover limit is reduced, how many portals would government have to notify? It is anybody's guess. We will have to see. But now, what are the B2B invoice, export or sales invoice? It is not required for B2C invoice. Now, B2B is business to business, and B2C is business to consumer. So, e-invoicing is required only for B2B invoice, export and sales supply. It is not required for B2C in transactions. Now, taxpayer has to first prepare invoice using his accounting system. That is very important. And you have to understand that if you do not, if you want to directly generate it on your invoice registration portal, it cannot be done. What are the mandatory fields of invoice? Again, a very common question which comes into picture, and we see. So the normal fields of an invoice are also required in an e-invoice. We are only working with invoice mandatory fields as notified or as stated from section 31 to 34 and the relevant rules. And again, the same requirements are there for e-invoice. General requirements are version number, invoice reference number, code, etc. Then supplier name, buyer details, payment, delivery, invoice items, document, total, extra. Extra means any tax schemes, any incentives, any discounts, anything which you are given. And then for the bill to ship to model, if their buyer is address is different and the goods are going to a different place, then bill to ship to model, then those columns are there. Now friends, again a question arises, sir, when e-invoice is generated, is there a requirement for e-way bill? Anybody's guess? Many times when I'd asked not webinars but in seminars. So now there is a difference between a webinar and a seminar. Seminar is where the physical person is there, and webinar is when we are talking of invoicing. It is a each seminar. So the answer is yes. If you are generating a e-invoice, even then you would be required to generate e-way bill. There is no escape from that. If the e-way bill is not generated, or if it is generated and even then part B is not filled, then it would be incomplete, and the panel provisions of section 129, 130 would be applicable in such cases. But coming to that topic, I would be coming back again. What are the purpose of e-invoicing? We always say that digital platform initially is always a problem. We are always facing a trouble logging in or doing things. But once we log in or we start working on a digital platform for 1 or 2 times, we get accustomed. This this webinar is a proof of that. We are already crossing 200 persons, and we had 1 month back did not visualize that we would be having an interaction on June. And I would never have visualized that I would be addressing so many persons from across the India on the Zoom. We were not knowing even the name of Zoom. But as soon as we embrace the technology, this comes into picture, and this is the benefit of digital platform. And similarly, the benefit of e-invoicing, it is reducing the paperwork. What would do, once a e-invoice is generated, it would automatically send the data to your return. It would automatically send the data to fill part A of your e-way bill. It would automatically send the data to your purchaser. It would automatically send the data for the GSTR1 or Annexure-1, and it would automatically match the purchaser's input credit registers, and then everything would be on a real-time basis. The issue of fake invoice, the issue of duplicate invoice, the issue of bogus dealer, everything would be restricted. I would not say they would evaporate. Nothing can evaporate in India. There are, the government is forward and we are more intelligent and we have more intelligent brains, and everywhere there is a break into the system, but it would reduce all the litigations. It would be a very helpful thing. So purchaser will be get input tax credit easily. Now what is the problem? We have to fill the data in GSTR1. It should be reflected in GSTR2A of the purchaser. If it is not reflected in time, because somebody is filing the return monthly, somebody is filing the return quarterly, if it is not reflected, then the government has reduced the input tax credit to 110% of 2A. Even when we had paid the tax, the credit is not reflected. That all problems would be evaporated. That all problems would go, and it would, the input tax credit would be automatically and instantly, it would be instantly reflected in the system. It would pre-populate the returns would be there, and it would increase the administrative efficiency by reducing the bogus bills, the fake bills, the fake dealers. You see, recent amendments had been done wherein the Aadhaar has been become mandatory for certain class of dealers for registration. So government is trying to curb the menace of the bogus bills and the fake bills. We are day in, day out fighting the litigations about the bogus bills, and we are seeing that what is happening. But it is a mistake of the government also. And we see that because of these things, the actual or genuine supplier or the purchaser is being penalized. With the e-invoicing, all this would evaporate, we presume. Subject to the one condition only, that the government software works, GSTN works, and the invoice registration portal works at all dates, even on the last date, and the government listens to the practical suggestion of the tax fraternity, the trading community, the industrial community. Now, what are the modes of generating e-invoice? It is a web-based, API-based, SMS-based, mobile-based, offline tool-based, and GSP-based. Sometimes, if you are having a customer who is generating e-invoice on a large basis, multiple invoices are generated daily, then you have to purchase a patch from API based dealer. So there is no one single base. There are 6 bases and 6 options, and you can choose any options, and there are specified suppliers for it. You know what has happened? Again, the big 4 accounting firms has taken the lead in it. They have developed their API in-house, and they are marketing it to the big industrialists, and they are taking care of all the accounting and the invoice generation system, and it is done through their API based and GPS based systems. So these are there, but because they have muscle power, or we can say they have the money power with them, they can generate and they can invest and they can supply to the industrialists and the industries. Because of this mode of e-generation invoice are notified. Now, what are the documents? Documents is invoice, credit note, debit note, or any other document by law. So these 3, invoice, credit note, and debit note, as on date, are required if there is a turnover of more than 100 crore to be generated through invoice registration portal if your turnover is more than 100 crores. The question again, what is an invoice generation portal, or what is invoice registration portal? Now 10 invoice registration portals has been created, as I had already said, by a notification dated 13/12/2019. What are their functions? The functions are that they would create a unique reference number, digitally sign the invoice, generate a QR code, and send the signed invoice to the recipient on the document on email provided in the invoice. Friends, the question comes, whether a digitally signed invoice or a e-invoice, if generated through an invoice registration portal, is required again to be signed by the dealer? The answer is no. The answer is no. If your invoice has been registered at the invoice registration portal and QR code is generated on that invoice, then there is no requirement of a physical signature on that invoice. The second question comes, whether the invoice has to be generated in triplicate. Again, the answer is no. It has to be generated as a single copy, and only one condition is there. It should be generated through an invoice registration portal, and a QR code should be mentioned on the invoice. Only then it would be considered as a valid invoice. Now, what if we are talking almost of invoice registration portal, but whether there is a requirement for fresh registration for invoice registration portal? The answer is yes and no. You will say what I'm talking about. I'm talking about yes and no. But yes, if you are not using any e-way bill as on date, you are having only a GST registration. In that case, yes, you have to register yourself on the invoice registration portal. But if you are using a e-way bill and you are already registered for e-way bill, then there is no further requirement of registration for the on the invoice registration portal, and your e-way bill login ID would work on it. Now that is a flow chart. What is this? This is a flow chart how you will go for registration. It is a flow chart for a taxpayer to register for the invoice registration portal system, and you have to follow these flow chart. The first is register on invoice registration system. putting your GSTN. There would be a OTP sent. After authentication, you can create your login ID password, and after creation of login ID password, you can go on for making entries to generate invoice registration number. The last word, again, I would say C, generate IRN. Again, that is a very important abbreviation we have to understand and we have to take in mind, because that would be a frequently used word, IRN. IRN is invoice reference number. So everybody should learn the abbreviations. Invoice registration portal is IRP. IRN is invoice registration number, and for the invoice registration number, it is a unique number generated by the e-invoice system through an algorithm. It would be given to each invoice for each financial year. For every document, it would be there. It would be based on the GSTN of the document, year, document type, and document number. That is the invoice number. Now, how would be a IRN generated? Whether it has to be filled, the invoice has to be filled again on the invoice registration portal. Again, I reiterate that no, my friends, the invoice is to be uploaded through your system, and how it would be uploaded, I would be talking about it in the next slides. Then there is a QR code. What is a QR code? Again, abbreviation you have to register, you have to learn, you have to take into consideration each and every time you want to think or discuss about the e-invoicing. It is a quick response code. It is a QR code is generated by the portal when you digitally sign the invoice by login on the invoice registration portal. It will give you immediate validation and access to invoices for all, for the officers. They can just scan it and they will get all the data of the invoice. It is based on the following parameters, that is GSTN of supplier and recipient, invoice number, date and value, number of line items, HSN of main item, and blah blah blah. That is unique IRN. So that QRN code is like a code, and it can be scanned by the officers anytime, during the movement, anytime, and only scanning through it, they will get all the data of the e-invoice instantly on their laptops or their smartphones or their systems, whatever it is. Now, the very important thing, the process to generate e-invoice under GST. So e-invoice has to be generated. Again, what I've been reiterating from the very first thing is that you have to generate an invoice through your accounting billing system. Friends, if you do not have an accounting billing system, you are doing it manually, then it is anybody's guess. Manual system will not work, but sometimes when I mention manual system, I forgot that I am talking about a dealer who is having a turnover of more than 100 crores. So in that case, a turnover having more than 100 crores, he cannot be doing manually. So he must have an accounting system, and if there is no accounting system, then that accounting system would be given free of cost. Accounting systems are available free of cost, and that would be given by the government or the GSTN. From your accounting system, a JSON file has to be generated and uploaded on the invoice registration portal. IRN to be generated on the 4 parameters. And the 4 parameters, again, I had already discussed it earlier. It has GSTN, invoice number, financial year, and document type. Document type is either it is invoice or a credit note or a debit note, whatever it is. The JSON file would be uploaded, and it would be uploaded through a GSP and other modes, which I had already told you. 6 modes are there. You can use all those modes, and you can generate. IRN will be generated, and validate IRN of JSON signature invoice would be generated, as well as QR code would be generated when you upload the JSON file, and the invoice registration number and the QR code would become the reference point for all future discussions or all future mandates for that invoice. The supplier as well as the buyer will be able to download the invoice. It would be sent on the emails of the seller and buyer, and the invoice registration number and the QR code would be the reference point. Again, this is very important. This data would also be shared to other systems. Now, where it would be shared? That is sharing e-invoice with portal. It would be done automatically. You have to do nothing there. Once you upload the JSON file and approve, everything would be automatic. So what GST portal would be doing? GST portal would be updating Annexure 1 and Annexure 2. Annexure 1 is related to the seller, Annexure 2 is related to the buyer. So it would be automatically uploaded on a real-time basis, and ITC and tax liability would be determined on that basis. The e-way bill portal would be creating part A of the e-way bill instantly. That is again a thing. There will be no manual error, there would be no mismatch, there would be no missing of the columns. Part A of the e-way bill will automatically be filled by the e-way bill portal on the basis of the e-invoice generated when IRN and QR code are generated, and you have to fill only part B. Now friends, what is part B? Part B is the vehicle number and the vehicle details. And again, I reiterate, again I say that if you generate e-invoice, it does not mean that you don't have to generate e-way bill. You have to generate e-way bill, and it is mandatory to generate e-way bill. Otherwise, the penalty and other provisions would be applicable in such cases. These are some of the notifications. I would be sharing this PPT. I had already sent this PPT to Nigam Bhai, and I think he would be sharing it on the WhatsApp group, and it would be a reference point for all of you. These are some of the notifications which are relevant for the e-way bill, e-invoice, the QR code, IRN portal, and everything. I had mentioned all these notifications. And the lastly, what I am telling you, what are the benefits? The one question which always comes to me, suppose I had generated a invoice and there was some mistake in it. Can it be cancelled? The answer is yes, it can be cancelled, but it can be cancelled within 24 hours. One intelligent fellow in a meeting addressed by me day before yesterday asked me, sir, I forgot to cancel it in 24 hours. What can I do? Nothing can be done. When you file the return, you have to manually mention it, and immediately when you realize your mistake, you should email to your jurisdictional officer, create a paper trail that you have made a mistake, and immediately ask for a confirmation from your buyer also that he has not received any goods, and that is the only option, or there is no other option at present in the system to cancel it manually. The second question is the accounting and billing software. Some people say whether the accounting and billing software would be available. Yes, it would be available and free of cost on by the government. But can you rely on a government software? That is anybody's guess, and it would be half-hearted software. So I always suggest go for a better software, go for a branded software which can function all things. And a company having a turnover of more than 100 crore would not go for a government-based software. But yes, again, they will have to use a patch or a system enabler or a GSP or API to connect the JSON files on a real-time basis, on a faster basis. The only question would be the internet and the availability of the portal and the proper working of the portal, because for the last 3 years, almost 3 years, we are seeing that whatever the government promises, that is not done. Always the mistake is of the dealer or the consultant. There is never a mistake of the government, and we are facing all these type of problems. Now we will have to see. A question also comes whether a reverse charge mechanism has to be done. Yes, reverse charge mechanism will have to be applied in that case also. The minute points of the e-invoicing which are already under discussion and which are being said that whether it can be done or not, there is one problem which are there, that the line items are 100 only at present. What the government has put up in the discussion paper. So 100 line items, if you are having a supply which are running into more than 100 line items, that is a very big issue, and that will create a big problem for all of us. Apart from that, let's wait. What I feel, what I stated in the starting, that I don't visualize that it would be coming from 1st October, and it would again be deferred either to 1st January or to the 1st April, because of the specific this pandemic of COVID and the problems being faced. The working of the government is very important, and we will have to see whether what can be done. Friends, this is all about e-invoicing. The subject is very little. It is a future subject. What would be the problems? What would be the working? We have to see in the matter. What problems are there? I would always say that the problems would always be not in the fine text, not in the law, not in the working, but in the system. The portals, again and again, those are the things. And then the second issue, how will be the officers who are on the road? You see, there is a difference between the working of two type of officers, the CGST and the SGST. CGST officials, they are not bothering about the transit of goods on the road. They are going into a big catching of fake bills or the bogus bills or the interpretation or the classification or the export or the import or other issues. But the state authorities, they don't have the system, they don't have a back end, they don't have working. They only want to catch the trucks, create a nuisance, create a problem. And with this e-invoicing, whether they would be accepting it, whether they would be following it, whether they would be understanding it, whether they would be technically able to supervise it, it is anybody's guess. Though there are training, there are workings, it would be anybody's guess. Friends, I had already exceeded my stipulated time. It was 30 minutes. I had already exceeded by 10 minutes. So Nigam bhai, thank you again for giving me this opportunity. And Bhaskar bhai, special thanks to you for everything. Thanks to all the participants, because without you, it would not have been possible to even to prepare a paper and have a discussion with you. I would only say, close my speech with the saying, please stay safe, stay inside, follow the guidelines of the government, care for your family. We can work even after 15 days, but we have to stay safe and take care of the family. Thank you. And I will be, after the speech of the working of the Nigam bhai, I would be open for the questions. Yeah, yes. Bhaskar bhai and Nigam bhai are open.
Yes, sir.
I would, before giving to you, I would also request, see, there is an option of raising of hands.
Yes, sir.
You can click and raise your hands. If you can raise your hands, I would be opening your mic and having a reply to your query, or whatever the Nigam bhai said, then I would do.
Sir, इसमें क्या होता है कि some everybody are not knowing how to raise their hand on this system. So somebody are dropping message in chat box also. If you are can able to control this, like otherwise you need to transfer your hosting to me, sir. आपको hosting छोड़ना पड़ेगा.
In this case, Nigam bhai, you will have to manage from your side, and you have to read the question.
I would transfer the host.
Yes, please.
Next.
First one.
Just a minute. I transferred the host to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
So once on behalf of NSC and entire team of our association, TAG, that is Tax Advocate Association of Gujarat, another Gujarat Sales Tax Bar Association, and other association of the nation. We are welcoming you. Sir, one by one, I am raising, I have received one question from Mr. Vivo 1915. Vivo 1915, are you there?
Hello.
Yes, please continue. You can raise your question.
अंकल जी.
हाँ जी बोलिए.
हेलो.
हाँ बोलिए, आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
सर मेरा क्लाइंट जो है मतलब टोल कलेक्शन का एक तो
हाँ जी,
हेलो,
हाँ हाँ बोलिए, आवाज आ रही है।
टोल कलेक्शन का है जिसमें 200 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है,
ठीक
और
है,
इसके साथ ही सिविल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है, सिविल
ओके
कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है, उसका 50 करोड़ का टर्नओवर है।
ओके।
तो उस केस में क्या होगा?
मैंने आपको बताया कि
ई इनवॉइसिंग मत।
B2B इनवॉइस के लिए जरूरी होता है ई इनवॉइसिंग। तो
अच्छा।
अगर आपका
हाँ
टोल
हाँ,
कलेक्शन में मेरे ख्याल से B2B नहीं होता, B2C होता
ये
है वो,
नहीं है। हाँ,
तो
ठीक है,
वहां
ओके।
पर तो आपको इनवॉइस की जरूरत नहीं है। और
हाँ,
जो
रिमेन।
जो जो सिविल कॉन्ट्रैक्टर है, अगर वो
हाँ
ऐसे काम कर रहा है जिसमें आगे वाला उसका क्रेडिट ले रहा है, तो वहां पर आपको ई
हाँ हाँ,
इनवॉइस जारी करना पड़ेगा,
इनवॉइस।
अगर दोनों ही वर्ग एक ही
ठीक है, ठीक है।
रजिस्ट्रेशन नंबर पर।
हम्म। हाँ, एक
ठीक
पे
है,
ही।
ओके नेक्स्ट।
हाँ जी, ओके।
निगम जी नेक्स्ट।
Yes, yes, sir. Yes. So other question is from Mr. Navneet Arora.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Please continue.
Sir, yeah, sir, my question is this: how to
Yes.
calculate the turnover all over national level, or I have a more than one branches or more than one registrations, all the registrations clubbed for this turnover 100 crore or separately?
If you are, because the aggregate turnover, you see, for even for a composition, your all turnover is computed. You see, a very good question raised by you. But in my opinion, it would be aggregated for all the turnover of India, because
Okay.
even for, you see, the guidelines at present, if you are having a turnover of a specified amount in different states, even then you cannot go into a certain categories.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you.
Sir, another question is from Mr. Rajendra. I think it is already dealt by you, but question is,
Yes.
e-invoicing is only mandatory for B2B or like all likes B2B, B2C and exports also?
No, it is mandatory. I had already shared in my PPT. It
Yes.
is B2B export sales, but it is not applicable to B2C.
So in short, it can be applicable, it should be applicable to export also.
Sir, a general concept, जो thumb rule कहते हैं ना अपन,
जी
what is the thumb rule? Thumb rule is जहां पर भी किसी को क्रेडिट लेना है
जी
या जहां पर भी हमको रिफंड लेना है,
ओके,
उस केस में आपको ई इनवॉइस मैंडेटरी है। जहां पर आपको ना तो क्रेडिट लेना है ना रिफंड लेना है,
जी 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 जी,
तो वो B2C हो गया, उस केस में आपको जरूरत नहीं।
थैंक यू सर. Another question is from Mr. Aman Diora. Are you there, Mr. Aman?
Yes, sir.
Please continue.
Sir, my scrap dealer purchases new truck for his business.
Mr. Aman, you just adjust your microphone. Sir, some disturbance is there.
Yes,
My query has written, I
I am
have
not able to hear.
Okay, Mr. Aman, I'll reproduce your query. Not an issue. Our query is that what will be the liability of ITC or ITC availability if a scrap dealer purchases a new truck for his business from Aman, from his business. Actually, this question is not relevant to today's topic, but question is if a person is making purchase of old truck from a scrap dealer, what would be the possibility of ITC?
If he is purchasing it as a scrap and he is not going for fresh registration,
Ji.
then ITC would be available. But if he is purchasing as a motor vehicle, then in that case, Section 17(5) restrictions would apply.
So right, thank you very much, sir. Right now, okay, Mr. Prashant Chittorkar, whether invoicing is mandatory for RCM also?
Yes, it is already dealt with in my PPT. In the last PPT, it is clearly mentioned that it would be applicable for RCM also.
Thank you, sir. Next is Mr. Chetan. Mr. Chetan has raised his hand.
Yeah, Mr. Chetan.
Yes, sir, I am audible.
Yes, you are audible, boss. Yes.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, जैसे आपने अपनी PPT में बताया, once the invoice is created and it can be cancelled within 24 hours.
Yes.
Since 24 hours has been lapsed.
Yes.
So the method we follow for cancellation of that transaction is through credit note also. So in this case also credit note can be issued for that cancellation of transaction or something.
That can be done, but because you e-way will also be issued, and then sometimes it can be
Yes.
seen that whether there has been a movement or not. So that would be a question. I think FAQ would come on this point. But in my opinion, either credit note can be used. That is a valid suggestion by you. But a valid information can be sent by mail to the jurisdictional authority on the same day. And
Yes, sir.
you after giving such information, you can use the credit note. That is a good suggestion.
And sir, is there any news that in tomorrow or future credit note and debit note will also be generated through e-invoicing or e-credit note or e-debit note would be there? Any such news?
See, if there is a e-invoice, the debit note or credit note would be through e-portal only.
Okay. It is there as it will be there on 1st October also.
It
E-debit
would be
note or
there on
e-credit.
1st October, yes.
Okay, okay, sir.
You
Thank
see
you,
my
sir.
PPT. So it is there, it is clearly mentioned that it is applicable for 3 type of transaction. Invoice, credit note and debit note.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Right now, from this common platform, no further queries raised by anybody.
I am lucky, Nigam bhai. Sir, it shows two things. Either I am not able to explain myself.
No, sir.
So it is really wonderful for me to have an interaction.
Yes, please. So now, sir, 2-3 person I have raised their hand. 1 minute.
Yes, yes.
Galaxy Edge, Galaxy S7. Are you there?
सर मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
Yes,
हाँ, आ
please.
रही है.
सर मैं वही अमन जोड़ा बोल रहा था. मैं ये कह रहा था कि मेरे स्क्रैप डीलर ने अपने बिजनेस के लिए नया ट्रक खरीदा है ऑन द स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ हिज जीएसटी. तो उसको आईटीसी मिलेगा. उसके बाद वो जो ट्रक अपना ट्रांसपोर्टेशन के लिए भेजेगा तो उसकी लायबिलिटी जीएसटी के लिए क्या होगी?
देखिए, अगर वो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का बिजनेस करता है और उसको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में यूज करता है तो उसको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में 2 तरीके की स्कीम्स अवेलेबल है. एक तो विदाउट आईटीसी 5% टैक्स की और एक विद आईटीसी. और आपको उसमें से ऑप्शन लेना पड़ेगा कि आपको कौन सी ऑप्शन में जाना है.
मतलब अगर खुद का स्क्रैप भी भेजता है तो उसके लिए भी वही स्कीम है दोनों ही?
उसके लिए वही स्कीम है क्योंकि उसको ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का एक अलग वर्टिकल माना जाएगा और ट्रांसपोर्टेशन में उसको आईटीसी का बेनिफिट तभी मिलेगा जब वो ट्रांसपोर्टेशन का काम को ऐड कराएगा,
जो भी ठीक है. मतलब जैसी भी आइटम भेजेगा, जिस भी रेट की भेजेगा, उसको वही रेट का टैक्स लगेगा.
बिल्कुल
बिल्कुल ठीक है सर. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you, sir. अभी और कोई पर्सन है who wants to raise any question?
अभी तो ये एक्ट काम ही चालू नहीं हुआ, इसलिए आप निगम भाई आई एम वेरी फॉर्चुनेट कि कोई क्वेरीज नहीं है.
अभी प्रैक्टिकल कोई इश्यू नहीं आया है.
प्रैक्टिकल कोई इश्यूज नहीं आए.
Yes, sir. Once again, sir, I am very much thankful to you. And now this mic is over to Mr. Bhaskar Bhai. Bhaskar Bhai, I am unmuting you. And then after Manish, Mr. Manish is there. He is from TAG. He wants to speak something.
Nigam bhai, I would just speak for 1 minute before Bhaskar bhai says.
Please, sir. Please.
I am thankful to all of you. A great opportunity to me. Great to interact with you. Though this is not the right platform, but AIFTP is also running the webinars, and it is at 11 a.m. daily. The information can be shared by Bhaskar bhai and Nigam bhai. And I would request all of you, if you want to join those seminars also, webinars also. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And from our platform, your all messages pertains to a webinar or seminar. We are circulating to NSE group also, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am grateful.
I am not else you, sir.
For that.
Please, sir.
Yeah, Bhaskar bhai now.
1 minute, sir.
West Zone particularly to all my professional brothers, those who are members of AIFTP or not, because the education must be spread out all over India base so that all the professional person can have knowledge from the eminent personality like you. And today you have given lecture on e-invoicing. It is very much effective that, as you said, that no questions are not being raised now more than 5 to 7. But if after hearing your lecture, each and every participant have taken care about your lecture, and because of that reason only, they have no queries. And that's why it is a great concept that you have delivered a good lecture in respect of invoicing. I, on behalf of National Action Committee as well, I, on behalf of All India Federation of Tax Practitioners Western Zone Chairman, congrats you, and I am hoping your cooperation in years to come. Thanks, Mr. Pankaj Jia.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank
1
you.
minute, sir. 1 minute, sir. Okay, under the head of NSC, we are trying to club all association, district level association, state level association. So one of those is TAG, Tax Advocate Association of Gujarat. President
Yes,
of
sir.
Mr. Manish Shah is with us. He wants
Yes,
to
sir.
share something. Mr. Manish, are you there?
Yes.
Yes, please, sir. Please, sir. Please share your something.
Hello. Welcome, dear sir.
Thank you, sir. Welcome. Thank you very much.
I am thanks to you on behalf of Tax Advocate Association of Gujarat and NSC. Very good today meeting. I am happy and all on behalf of my association members. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Manish bhai. It was a pleasure hearing you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Now, friends, so many messages I have received on this chat box with mobile number as well as email ID. To each and every member, I will take care to transfer this PPT through mail as well as WhatsApp.